blessed good morning to one and welcome to this new week as we continue our journey in this world, as we continue our growth and our movement towards a full understanding of who we are and whose we are. This week we hold as our theme, I am the Lord's. I am the Lord's. I am the Lord's. For me, this is a starting point for the entire journey of the spiritual life. To know who one is and to whom one belongs. This week then we focus on I am the Lord's. So as we go into our time of meditation, as we develop our practice, I'd like us this week to try a concentrative meditation using the words of our theme, I am the Lord's. And so I want us to bring our attention into our heart space, and then using the phrase, with a heart filled with gratitude, just repeat within one's heart, I am the Lord's. I am the Lord's. I am the Lord's. Just repeat it a few times and then allow yourself to be quiet. And then as you find yourself drifting, just come back to those words. I am the Lord's. I am the Lord's. I am the Lord's. Just allow those words to sink in. Allow them to become yours, fully and truly yours. I am the Lord's. I am the Lord's. I am the Lord's. With nothing else in my thoughts, with nothing else in my mind, in the midst of this emptiness, stripped of all that I possess in this moment, offering nothing but these words. I am the Lord's. I am the Lord's. I am the Lord's. And we allow ourselves to rest in this space. Becoming used to being in the presence of God. And knowing that we belong. We belong here. I am the Lord's. I am the Lord's. I am the Lord's. Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. He fasted 40 days and 40 nights, and afterwards he was famished. The tempter came and said to him, If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become loaves of bread. But he answered, it is written, one does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. And the devil took him to the holy city and placed him on the pinnacle of the temple, saying to him, if you are the Son of God, throw yourself down. For it is written, he will command his angels concerning you, and on their hands they will bear you up, so that you will not dash your foot against a stone. Jesus said to him, again it is written, do not put the Lord your God to the test. Again the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. And he said to him, all these I will give you if you will fall down and worship me. Jesus said to him, away with you, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve only him. Then the devil left him, and suddenly angels came and waited on him. When you're little children, you find yourself constantly going through one challenge or another. Others are always there to taunt you. They're always there to try to get you to prove this or prove that. We call it affectionately, you're being dared. Dare to do this, dare to do that. And all these things are predicated on one idea. If you are this, prove to us that you are this. And in some way we go through life seeking to do that, seeking to prove ourselves. In our adult world, it takes on a different form. In our adult world, where we're working, there's always that same challenge. Prove that you deserve this salary. Here are your targets. Let's see if you can meet them. And we're always being dared to show how good we are. And this is something that creates so much havoc in our lives. It causes us immense pain at times, because there's also the downside of it, where if we are unable to meet a target or to maintain a relationship, we then begin to feel ourselves unworthy. I am not able to sustain this. I am worthless. I'm not able to gather the level of the target that I need to gather. So I am really not a performer. I am worthless. We don't realize how we can set up these dualities in our lives. And while it may be fine when they're working in our favor, when they're not working in our favor and we fail, we judge ourselves harshly because we are convinced that others will judge us. And because we are convinced that others will judge us, we take up the mantle of the judge and we judge ourselves. And so many of us walk around in life with various childhood traumas arising from the fact that some goal was set, or some set of goals were set, whether intentionally or unintentionally. But goals were set, and in places we weren't able to attain the goals. And that has caused us to carry a burden through our lives. In reality, there's no need to prove anything. The spiritual path tells us that we are the Lord's, and that is all that matters. When you listen to the scriptural passage for this morning, we see how Jesus is presented with three different scenarios, all three with the intention of proving something, demonstrating something. But in all three, Jesus acknowledges that he has no need to prove anything. Jesus acknowledges that he belongs to God. I don't think that we really understand as deeply as we should what that means. We are so caught in our world and this sense of having to prove oneself again and again and again. We do it on a daily basis. And yes, I know that if you don't meet your targets, there's a good chance you lose your job or you don't get that bonus. But all these things are just items that seek to control us in one way or another. And it is important that we know and we are aware. Because with knowledge and awareness, there may very well be the opportunity to shift one's focus or to be able to shift one's job or one's intention. But you can take steps which may not be detrimental to you, but at the same time may assist you in being able to live a more productive life. Because oftentimes our productivity is so locked into something that we do on the outside that we fail to realize that the real productivity of our life is what happens on the inside. And there is this sense that when we focus on the inside, when we focus on the quote-unquote productivity of the inside, not by challenging ourselves, but by allowing, because the more I allow myself to rest in the divine, the more productive I become, not only within, but also without, because I am leaning in the arms of the Lord. I am aligning myself to the way of God. I am aligning myself with my purpose. I'm aligning myself with my way through this world. This aligning is of far greater importance than any goal that I may attain on the outside. Jesus reminds us that it is important to place our hearts on the things that are eternal and not on the things that are passing away. We are so discarded in our lives. Our job discards us after a certain time. Our relationships discard us in various ways when we don't fall into a particular mold or avenue. Persons are always out there discarding us in one way or another. I am the Lord's. I cannot be discarded. There is no way that I am discarded from God. So if there's any emphasis to be placed in my life, if there is any focus to be placed, let me place it, as Jesus did, on knowing that I am the Lord's and I have nothing to prove. Nothing whatsoever. I am the Lord's. You are the Lord's. There is nothing that you have to prove. You only need to acknowledge it, to practice the awareness of it, and to live in that presence and in that state of awareness. You can do it. Others have done it before you and me. We can do it as well.